Alright, so before the video starts, I just want to let you know that I do have a Patreon. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing my full uncut reactions and the full length reactions, the link to my Patreon is in the description, and you'll also be able to see the reactions a few days or like a week early. So yeah, if you're interested in that, the link is in the description. But as for now, let's get straight into the reaction. Alright, so welcome back to the reaction on the channel. Today, we're going to be continuing the Expanse, and yeah, going on to the 9th episode of Season 1. I honestly can't believe that I'm already on the 9th episode. I'm already on the penultimate episode of Season 1. Like, that is crazy. It literally feels like I just started the show a minute ago, and I'm already on the penultimate episode. But yeah, last episode, by far, my favourite episode of the entire show so far. Literally everything about last episode was just amazing. We had Alex literally being the legend, being the badass, getting them off the hook pretty much and saying all the stuff, like all the words and saying donkey balls. And yeah, pretty much disguising himself as a Martian Black Ops ship and completely fooling the entire Mars army. Well, the two people that went there, but still, Alex is a legend, man. But yeah, this episode was amazing as well because we had the two storylines. Well, I guess I said this last episode, but I guess it's more like the three storylines because obviously we have Miller, our crew, the Rocinante, and Julie. And now it's all collided because it turned out that Julie was actually Lionel Polanski, and Miller and our crew have literally met up pretty much, and oh god, that fight scene with Miller and the rest of our crew was just amazing. The way Miller got introduced to our characters and our crew was amazing. I absolutely loved that, and yeah, that last episode was by far my favourite episode of the entire show. But yeah, again, I've written down a few things that I do want to mention before I go on to the episode, so I've got a little list here on my phone. It does actually have quite a lot, so I feel like this intro is going to be a bit long, but it's going to be worth it to get all my thoughts out and all the information. So yeah, I'm going to get straight into this. Okay, so firstly we have Ehrenreich, who has obviously sent a Black Ops team to the Tycho station to investigate Fred Johnson's alleged stealth program, and there are plans to take out Holden and the team, as we saw, because obviously Ehrenreich has when he was talking to Christian the other episode, when Christian went to James Holden's mom and said like, oh yeah, he might have mum issues, but he's not a terrorist. The guy said, Ehrenreich literally said that he's already put a Black Ops team onto James Holden, and once they go to Tycho Station, they're done. They're going to be killed. As we saw, it didn't quite go to plan, but yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see if they're going to send more Black Ops teams, because obviously Miller and obviously, it was mainly Amos, wasn't it? Because Amos was really aware in that situation, and he was like, it was really on high alert, and obviously Amos and Miller, like, them two together are pretty much unstoppable. So yeah, the Black Ops crew did not stand a chance. Also, I just realised I made a mistake talking then. I said like once they get to Tycho Station they'd be assassinated, but I actually meant Aero Station. So yeah, obviously they're at Aero Station now. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see about like corporate spy, like where's he gone? Is he just ran off? Like, is he going to hide from them? Because yeah, if they find out that he's responsible for the Black Ops team and all the surveillance on him, I think especially Amos is going to be very angry with him. Miller gets a fight to Eros, and he met a Mormon man, and they talk about faith and hope and a 100-year journey. And I just want to mention that kind of like Miller's own journey is pretty much devoted on faith, like the entire faith that Julie is out there and Julie is alive. So yeah, I just thought that was an interesting point to make, how Miller's expedition to find Julie is pretty much based on faith, the same faith that he was pretty much mocking about the 100-year journey, and how you don't know anything certain. But he doesn't know anything about Julie. He doesn't know she's out there. She could be dead, and I mean, the last scene, is she dead? But I'll get on to that. Okay, so this is the really interesting part. So obviously Miller arrived at the Aero Station. He discovers that Anubis 1A is registered to Lionel Polanski, the survivor of the Scoupli that Holden and the crew were sent by Fred Johnson to retrieve. Bailed out by old friend, and he tells that Lionel Polanski is actually Julie Mao. So that scene was literally mind-blowing. That was such a twist that I don't know how I didn't see it coming, because it was so there. Like, I feel like if you go back like a couple of episodes, and even like the last episode, I feel like it's so obvious that Julie Mao is Lionel Polanski, because obviously the lone survivor of the Scoupli, we saw in the first episode, Julie is the sole survivor of the Scoupli, and we literally saw a Scoupli on her, like I don't know what you call it. I guess it's like uniform, I guess. But yeah, it was literally there from the very start. I just can't believe that, man. Again, like the details. People are saying details in the show are amazing. And yeah, that just furthermore proves the point, doesn't it? And yeah, obviously that guy that we saw when Miller was at his place, and that guy like came on the screen and said, yeah, Anubis isn't here, but Anubis 1A is here. He obviously went to Aero Station and met him, and obviously he got into a fight with that guy trying to get the ship that what's called Lionel Polanski, because he didn't know it was Julia, but Lionel Polanski was on. And yeah, Miller ended up doing it a bit too aggressive. And yeah, he obviously got detained in like a prison cell, but obviously that guy bailed him out and was like, yeah, Lionel Polanski is literally Julie Mao. And that was insane. That scene was great. And yeah, you can imagine how much thoughts was running through Miller's head. Like, what? Lionel Polanski is Julie Mao. How does that all connect to it? But literally everything last episode connected. It was amazing. The whole Scoupli, the whole Anubis, the whole Canterbury, literally everything in that episode connected. And it was just so amazing to see everything unravel. I have got a few more points about that, so obviously go on to it. So yeah, the Rocinante and the crew finds the stealth ship that blew up the Canterbury. Turns out it's actually the Anubis, the same ship that is at the aero station. But obviously the one at the aero station is 1A, but Anubis 1 is the one which is the stealth ship, and the one that Fred Johnson sent our crew, the Rocinante, to go and find and explore pretty much. And yeah, all the people on board was from the Scoupli, all connected, and this is where we saw Julie at the start of episode 1. So yeah, I just mentioned that, but that is such a cool little detail that they literally showed that from the beginning, and it all makes sense 9 episodes down the line. Now, that is just beautiful, man. Oh yeah, we also saw the weird blue stuff, which is like a bio leak and actually seems alive. So yeah, I had so much theories about that. I mean, my theories were crazy a couple of episodes ago. I don't believe in like this alternate universe now, but I believe that is going to lead to mass destruction, or that is going to be used as like a weapon, and it's going to completely annihilate like a military power or just the general population. That is going to be extremely, extremely dangerous in the future. But the Rocinante did blow it up, so I'm not sure about that. And obviously Holden said, remember the Cant, which is obviously a nice reference to Canterbury, the one that was blown up. So yeah, but I wonder if that blue stuff is going to play a big role. I feel like it will. I feel like we saw it at the start of episode 1, and it was such a big detail. So, and we just saw it like devouring a person. So yeah, there's way more to that, and I feel like they'll probably explore that in subsequent episodes, so I'm really looking forward to finding out more about that. Okay, so after this, the Rocinante and her crew went to Aeros, and obviously the Black Ops team was there to take Holden out. Amos is a badass and realised that they are saved. Wait, what? Amos is a badass. Oh, sorry, I typed it right. Amos is a badass, and then he realises that they're there, like that people around him are literally about to try and attack him, and Amos is so smart in them situations. He's so calm and so alert that literally no one stands a chance against him. It's insane. I don't understand how he's so skilled. And yeah, obviously they kind of got a bit in a checkmate with the other like the Black Ops people, and Miller. That's where Miller came in, and Miller completely just destroyed him. He just got his pistol out, just shooting him. And yeah, James Holden just looked at him like, what? Who are you? And that's going to be really interesting for Miller, because obviously he knows all about James Holden and the crew, the Rocinante. Actually, I don't think he knows about the Rocinante, but he definitely knows about James Holden, and he has his suspicions about the Canterbury, the Donegal, literally everything. So that's going to be really interesting to see them two talking. Okay, so our crew, including Miller, finds out what number Julie or Lionel Polanski in terms of the Rocinante is, and goes there. Horrible stench, and they go into the bathroom, and Julie is there dead. So I don't know if that's the end of Julie. I don't know if that actually is Julie. I mean, Miller did say like, oh, Julie. So I don't know, because that could just be a clone of Julie. But to be honest, it's all led to this. So I think this is what happened to Julie. I think she believed in some bullshit cause, like Miller said. And yeah, pretty much got herself killed because Anderson Dawes didn't look out for it, didn't care. And yeah, that's what happened because of it. So yeah, it's really sad obviously for Miller, because now his faith and his hope is just utterly destroyed, because the entire first season so far, he's had that faith, he's had that hope to find Julie, and the hope that she's alive and to answer all the questions, and just for her to be alright, because Miller actually has bonded with Julie in a weird sense, because he actually cares for Julie now. He wanted her to be alive, and yeah, it's probably going to affect him quite a bit, seeing that Julie is dead, and yeah, all the stuff that happened to her, that's just going to be messed up, man. Oh yeah, also Fred Johnson managed to decode the chip that the Mars guy, I found out his name Lopez. Lopez had obviously this chip, because obviously Lopez had this chip that the woman on the Donegal gave to Lopez to get off the ship and to keep it with him pretty much, and obviously he did manage to, but he died. And so our crew, the Rocinante, didn't have a clue that it was on him, but Fred Johnson did. So Fred Johnson has retrieved this, and yeah, he's managed to retrieve a detailed report of the fight between the Donegal and the unknown stealth ships. And what's really interesting is that Fred Johnson knows who did it, because Gil, who decoded it, was like, Fred Johnson, you got to see this, Butcher, come here. And he looked at it and was like, oh my god. So he knows what happened. He knows, but they didn't show the viewers, man. So I really hope we see this episode or next episode who it was. And, well, yeah, Fred Johnson knows. So we just need to see what Fred Johnson saw. But, yeah, I knew they wasn't going to let the viewers know because it's just going to leave it, like, on a cliffhanger. And what do we know about this show? This show loves its cliffhangers, doesn't it? But yeah, that's everything. But I do also have one more thing to mention. It's a pretty big chunk of a paragraph. But somebody left me a comment about the Butcher. And I'll just read what I got here. So, theory that the Butcher isn't actually all that he seems. He is known for being this mass murderer and blowing up the Anderson station. But as we saw, he was just standing outside of an airlock with a rifle. I got a comment from a guy named Yes Queer. I think that's how you say his name. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. He mentioned that the rank colonel is actually a Marines rank and obviously not a naval rank. And obviously the Marines don't have jurisdiction on making decisions on the Navy's behalf. So, as he's the manager of the Tycho station, how could he get to the position after massacring the Anderson station? It's almost like Fred Johnson was given the nickname the Butcher to cover up and shift the blame. Maybe this guy who has loads of power is responsible, the guy that Miller mentioned. So, yeah, I thought that was a really interesting comment because I didn't really think about that before. But yeah, how would Fred Johnson get to that level of power and literally run the Tycho station if he was known for butchering the entire Anderson station? Like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So I feel like maybe he took the blame for somebody else, maybe someone in higher power, because we've literally seen Miller mention this guy who has loads of power, who is trying to start a war. Well, he will start a war to cover everything up. I initially thought that was either going to be Anderson Dawes or Fred Johnson, but now I feel like there's someone way bigger at play. There's someone like this is like the OPA and Fred Johnson and Anderson Dawes. This is the UN, and whoever this guy is, he's like all the way up here. There is someone with loads of power that is trying to cover this up and has access to, well, whoever it is, they have access to the stealth ships, isn't it? That's who it is. So whoever Fred Johnson has found out, that's who it is. That's who's responsible for everything. So yeah, I can't wait to find out more about that. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to mention. I don't know how long this intro is. It's probably quite long, so I'm going to get straight into this episode. But I'm really excited to get straight into this episode. This is going to be the penultimate episode. And yeah, if it's anything like the last episode, this episode is going to be phenomenal. And I can't even imagine what the final's going to be like. I'm so excited for that. But yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time. I want to get straight into this. So yeah, this is going to be the Expanse Season 1, Episode 9. Really looking forward to this episode. And yeah, let's get straight into this. Alright, so this episode is called Critical Mass.
All this shitstorm that we're in, it's all got to do with her. Research station.
Anubis, yeah. Here we go.
Okay, now, I'm thinking ships start blowing up, the Canterbury, the Donager.
It's all linked.
Gotta be connected.
What do you think is on this?
Spilling a lot of blood over.
Absolutely. Stealth ship, and maybe the thing worth spilling a lot of blood over. What am I talking about? Spilling. What Miller said, maybe that is the blue stuff that we saw. Maybe that's really valuable or something. It could be, we don't know. Scoupli, fighter Scoupli. Oh, we're gonna see what happened. Oh shit!
Lidar is really flaky.
Scopes on this bucket suck.
Oh, Julie's here. Okay, let's.
Bigger than a light transport.
We're actually figuring all this out. All right.
We're good.
I'm not worried.
We're going to lock up from the adrenaline. You are a true believer.
That she is.
You may not share our brittle bones, but you're definitely one of us, Beltalada.
Prepare to intercept.
All right. So what's this is 7 weeks ago, and they're intercepting a transport ship. I can't believe we're seeing all this. We're actually figuring it out. I didn't think they'd do this, but I'm all for it.
Where did that come from?
Gunship.
That's a gunship.
Uh-oh. Huh.
Breaching pod amidship.
Seal all compartments, all hands, we are being boarded.
Right, so this is really, really interesting. Okay, so it's these blue people. So who are they, though? We don't know who they are. Okay.
Stinking belters. Always trying to take what isn't yours. How'd you know we'd be here? How?
Hands off that one. She's a complication. Put her in here to.
Right, so this goes all the way back to the first episode, when she's in this locker.
Yeah, the
But everyone on the ship was dead, or no one was on the ship, so why was Julie left alone, and where did all the people go?
Does it feel hot in here to you?
No.
Yeah, it's that blue stuff.
Climate control and make it cooler.
Huh.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe it's like... I don't know. Naima said it was nanofluids, or some sort of bio leak. So obviously maybe inhaling that stuff kills you or something. We can hear it. That's the sound the thing makes, isn't it? That wheezing sound, I'm pretty sure. Is that like a radio transmitter? Looks like it.
This is Lionel Polanski. I repeat, Lionel Polanski. Pickup has gone bad. The crew is dead. Somebody help, please.
Oh man, you gotta feel for Julie in this situation. Oh, maybe they evacuated the ship and left her there. Maybe they found the blue stuff like, what's it called? Rosinati did. Oh. The Canterbury. Shit, of course, yeah. So this is all happening at the same time. This is so cool that we're actually we're going back in time to figure out and see what actually happened. Before this, all it's been is speculation, pretty much. Well, not really, but we actually find out what happened down to, well, all details. Right, so we saw this. Julie got out of the locker. She goes down to the core and she sees this blue stuff eating the sky or something. But what happens after that, we don't know. So we're about to see what's going to happen. There's about to be a spacesuit that flies past her. I know that. Yeah, here it is. But why is there a space... Why... What? Why is that flying past her? Like... Oh, shit. Oh, no, don't touch that. That's got to be what killed her, the blue stuff. Oh my god, this is so interesting. Well, we know that she gets off the Anubis. She takes the pod or whatever, like Alex said. Wait, what was that? What was that? Oh wait, never mind. I'm so stupid. I thought I missed something really important, but it said something here. Look. Oh, is this Anderson Dawes? I thought it said Anderson Dawes and something else. I got too excited, man. Never mind. I'm being stupid.
Oh, Polanski. Mission has failed. The Scoupli has been lost. I'm aboard the Anubis. Hold on. There's something in the reactor. It looks like it consumed everyone else.
Yeah, it does. It does not look...
It's a bioweapon. I've never seen anything like it. I have to get off the ship.
As we know, she does.
I'll set up an OPA locator beacon and park it where no one else can find it.
Okay, that's how Anderson Dawes knew how to find
I just have to leave.
Yeah, and she took the pod that Alex said that was missing, and she went to Eros. Clearly.
The station is within range of the Anubis shuttle. I'll be there, waiting for you.
As we know, Anderson doesn't go for her. Jesus. Okay, we've actually got the full intro this time. Interesting. We don't usually get it. Maybe it wasn't somebody who killed Julie. Maybe it was that blue stuff, because as we saw, she got it on her hand, and maybe that spread to her body, and her body, when we saw her dead, it looked like all like an infection, like the blue stuff perhaps.
So listen, that ship you're looking for, Anubis, whatever, it never showed up here. But the funny thing is, a short-range shuttle from that ship did. Anubis 1A is still here on Eros, racking up dock fees.
That's what it was.
For you, amigo.
That was Julie Mao's ship all along. God, I didn't even, when that first played, I didn't have a clue. Looking back at that now, I completely understand. And yeah, it was the infection, wasn't it? That's what killed Julie.
I tried to keep a low profile. but it wasn't as easy as I hoped. I had to get off the streets.
That the guy that grabbed her?
I left a trail of breadcrumbs,
Oh man.
a way for you to find me. And I waited.
Nobody came. Miller was trying to, but came too late,
And I
man.
waited.
I ended up killing it, didn't it? This infection, whatever it is.
Dawes,
Oh, what the fuck?
you didn't even answer.
Dawes is a bastard. Again, I understand this character, but why didn't he go for Julie? Yeah, literally, why didn't he? So what was it that got into Julie's like bloodstream, or yeah, as we saw. Well, actually, obviously it's an infection of some sort, or disease. She become sensitive to lights and shit. Oh no. I doubt there's even a cure for this shit, is there? It's like eating her from inside. God, that is so horrible. It's literally like all over her. Oh. I mean, that's horrible to look at. Imagine how horrible it bloody feels. Ah. It's alive inside of her. That is... Oh, what the fuck, man?
Please, Mommy. Don't let him suffer. He's rebellious.
It's like it's feeding... On the ship, we saw he was feeding off the ship, like the electrical, but maybe this is feeding off her, like her being alive, like her blood and... What? She saw Miller? I'm so... Well, obviously not, but... Oh, what the hell, man? This is so messed up. I didn't expect this.
Julie?
Oh, and of course, now the disease is dead because it's... Well, Julie's dead, so the infection and disease is dead, so not going to see all the blue stuff.
Come on, boys.
So far, the show has been so lighthearted, but this is just...
Cavalry's on its way.
It's got a point, Miller. You gotta get out of there. Yeah, but this, what I realise now is that he's gonna be completely crushed because that was his hope, that was his faith. And now seeing Julie, he's failed her in a way, hasn't he?
Drop him.
Not happening.
Easy. Jesus, Miller. What the hell you got yourself into? Ain't no way I can clean all this up.
You got that right.
We're not asking you to do anything. We're just gonna walk out of here real easy. We didn't see each other.
Look, you stay right where you are. Miller, you tell me what the hell is going on here.
She's gone.
With the girl.
Yeah, Miller's gonna go after the person who did this. You already know Miller, so don't know why he's saying that.
He's having a tough time dealing with what we saw. The girl meant something to him. It was a shock finding her like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Naomi's side. Amos better not be a dickhead to Miller, that's all I'm saying.
Inspector Sematima, CPM. What the hell are you doing here? This is my crime scene.
CPM works for me. I'm looking for this girl.
Oh, interesting. CPM, so...
We were followed.
Well, that stuff on her, we saw it before. On the Anubis.
Yeah.
What happened to her? What happened to her? Settle down! Not like this. Easy there.
Amos, for God's sake, do something!
What we should be doing is leaving. The cops are gonna be all over us. We need to get back to the Rossi and off this rock now.
He's right.
Yeah, he is. Take Miller with you.
We shouldn't separate.
I'm gonna prep the ship for dust-off. You guys meet us there.
Yeah, you should all go on the Rocinante and then talk it out. Man, this is so amazing that we're seeing Miller and the Rocinante crew interacting. It's amazing, man. Gotta say, I absolutely love Christian's clothes, man. Like, her whole character is really, really cool. I really do like it. Yeah, you can see that Christian pretty much caused this.
Would you mind if...
It's the guy that he, hang on.
I need to say goodbye.
Pretty sure it's the guy that was for the Mars, like he worked for the Mars people, and then obviously after all this stuff and then they go into war, he obviously leaked all the Mars stuff, that they had like 7 stealth ships or whatever, or like military bases, and obviously he got fired for that. Pretty sure that's the guy we're talking about here. What are you doing, Christian? So who are these people? I know you said CPM, but that's all I know. Are these gonna... Oh, shit.
She's got more than enough in her.
For what?
Tell the crew to prepare the injections.
To who? Oh, Jesus Christ. What's this all about? This is the bioweapon, isn't it? They're using this as a bioweapon to kill people. Miller said it would shift the
I'm truly sorry to be the
balance of power.
Your daughter is dead. We still don't know what exactly happened on the Anubis. But it
I
looks
just
as
realized
though Julie was the lone
we're getting
survivor.
a
Somehow she managed to pilot the shuttle. The only thing that I can say to temper this terrible news is that I was able to obtain a viable sample of the protomolecule. The injections had been prepared. We are ready for lockdown. The irradiation units are in place. We can still do what needs to be done.
Wait, of course! This guy is the guy!
That incredible revelation on Phoebe. Now we stand on the precipice.
How did I realize that?
We can only learn by letting it learn.
This is the guy in power. This is the guy that has all the power. All along it was him.
Waiting.
It's gotta be. It's the only one I can think of now. Of course. It's him all along. He's some massive, rich, powerful guy. It's him. He's...
Lucky. Seed is planned.
Oh, God. It was him all along, wasn't it? You can see why Julie tried to get away from him. Jesus Christ. Oh, I see. So is that bioweapon to target Earthers, or...
What the hell was that?
Oh, God. What's happening now?
Attention. Aero Station has experienced a radiation hazard breach. For your own safety,
You guys feel that?
We sure did.
Oh, shit.
Son of a bitch.
Have they released
Ship just blew
the...
up in the docks.
The Rosie?
No, it wasn't in that bay.
That's good news. Bad news is, ships are all locked down tight.
Fucking wonderful, isn't it?
We're stuck here.
For a minute, I was thinking that they released that, like, that bio thing, but obviously they wouldn't be able to do it that fast. Oh, so... Oh, okay. I would never have suspected that these are, like, data pencils, I guess? Damn, that's so cool, though. Oh, there's so much info
Drives
there.
that match these serial numbers. What ships were they installed in? Include Black Ops. Locate the drives. Where are they right now?
So yeah, what is Christian looking for? I didn't catch that. I might look back at that at the end or something and see if I can read or see any information. Oh, okay, CPM, this is what we saw.
Planned. They have assignments.
You knew it was gonna happen. How could they know a ship was gonna blow up on the docks?
It was planned, that's why they blew it up. Jesus Christ.
They blew it up themselves.
It might contain that bio stuff, actually. That's what they could have done.
Let him go!
Miller's onto something. It's all connected. The girl...
It's not your problem. It's not your fault. None of it is.
Exactly.
Okay. Be back at the Rossi. I'll be a few hours tops.
We're better when we stick together.
If I'm not back in 3 hours, leave.
Well, I don't know how you're going to be leaving, because you said it's on lockdown, right? So how are they going to leave in 3 hours? So Miller obviously knows them people.
Iodine supplement. Protects from radiation. Mandatory.
What the fuck are they doing? David... These bastards, man. They're actually injecting it. Oh my god, they're actually doing that. What do they gain from that? Just their little test subjects. What pricks, man. You won't inject him with that shit. Don't even try it.
The guy
Who
who
are
took out
they?
the Dodger had body armor just like that. Who is he? He's one of the guys who did what they did to Julie. You need to go back to your friends.
God damn it. If he killed Julie, he killed my ship too. I need you alive.
Oh, God's sake. Not the time, guys.
Hey, break it on your feet!
We're not supposed to go to shelter. Hey, you go quiet and go now, else we throw you in there ourselves.
All right, help me up. My neck. Come on.
No, that's a bait. Oh, I knew it.
It just made me feel better.
Obviously, he's making an announcement of what he found, but what did he find? Let's figure this out.
My name is Frederick Lucius Johnson. Many of you know me, one way or another. I come before you today, not as a member of the Outer Planets Alliance, though I am proud to call myself one, but a citizen of the system. At this moment, the UNN Nathan Hale is headed for Tycho Station to arrest me, because the UN believes I was involved in the attacks on the Donninger. That is not true. This data cube was recovered from the wreckage of the Donninger.
Lopez.
And the armor of a Martian Marine. I'm broadcasting the raw data with this message. Anyone can examine and authenticate it. It's a detailed analysis of the ships that destroyed the Donninger. They were advanced stealth fighters. They didn't come from the belt. I didn't build them. No belter did or could.
So it was Earth.
Some people won't believe that coming from me because of who I am. None of us can change the things we've done, but we can all change what we do next. I've been the oppressor, and I know his mind. I now hear the drumbeats of war. It's the sound of lies and the love of power, and I cannot stand idly by. The Belters serve the inner planets for generations. Belters give, Earth and Mars take. Our language has changed. The things we care about have... Oh, this is not the Belt's fight. This evidence proves beyond a doubt that the ships that destroyed the Donninger were built at the Bush Naval Shipyards. They were built by Earth.
Jesus. I did mention that when I first saw it. It looked like Earth.
You're guarding.
And it is. It must be Earth then.
Scientists. Dresden. I heard them call him Dresden. That's all I know.
What's this? Huh? It's a series Grisha tat.
Used to run with them back there. So what?
How's that?
I went straight.
You didn't count the one. One.
CPM offered a bunch of Grigas jobs here a few months back. Sweet salary, fat bonus, no questions asked. And it wasn't just us, all the series crews. They had us hooking up cameras and science gear all over the station.
Interesting.
Why are you herding everybody into those shelters?
Because that's what they asked me to do today. This script spends.
No, they're injecting them all.
If these assholes want people in those shelters, we should let them out.
Hey, you're welcome to try. You said you were a cop.
Thing is, if they think they're doing the right thing by doing that.
Shelter, and you're gonna help me get in.
CPM sees me with you, they shoot us both.
He's got a point. Miller. Get this poor officer some help.
Yeah, poor officer. But the thing is, they're thinking they're doing the right thing, yeah, by going into these places, but they've all been injected with this biomaterial, so they're going to get infected if they go in there and try and help them.
There's got to be other ways to get to the docks, and we need to find one.
Comms just went dark.
That's not good.
This ain't an accident. It's a plan.
Yeah, maybe it's Julie's dad. That's what we know it is. It's Julie's dad who's responsible for this, all of this stuff. But I don't know if he's responsible for the stealth ships. It would make sense though. Yeah, it's got to be. I'll talk about that at the end because I'm really invested in what's happening. It's this guy. It's a spy.
We're just gonna stand here.
What's he doing?
Just charge in and start shooting.
Pretty sure we can.
Hey, keep your hands off these
Hey,
people. What the hell do you
Moscow.
think you're doing?
Just following orders.
It's Miller's pal.
You had to get the orders and end like this. You stand down. I got rank here.
Not today, you don't.
Sir, we're trying to...
Oh shit! Huh. Let's go, Miller's friend. I don't know your name, but let's fucking go. He deserved that. I'm with you on that.
Medical
I can see that, but who the hell are you?
Hey, some of your guys are taking fire down that connector shaft. You want to check it out? We'll take care of him.
Miller is just so... These people don't stand a chance against Miller. You don't want to go in there, guys. Do not go in there. Oh, these bastards, man. What? Why? Why? Oh fuck, get out of there. Get out, get out!
Get out.
Get out!
What? The hell was that?
Yeah, what was that? You better not be infected now from that.
We just got hit with a mega dose of hard radiation.
Oh no.
Not bad.
Don't say it's deadly.
We're dead.
No. And you fucking dare in the episode there. Are you serious? Nah, there's no way they're dying. Alright, so yeah, that was my reaction to The Expanse Season 1 Episode 9. And that ending, is that... Are Miller and James really gonna die from that? Like, really? Because I mean, if they was administered a fatal dose of radiation like we did see, then there's no way they're surviving that. But surely both of them aren't gonna die. Surely there's some way they can survive from that. Like, I can't see them two dying. I swear to God, if they die in the final, I swear to God, if that's how the final ends, them two die, I'm gonna be so pissed. They're probably my two favourite characters right now. So, yeah, they better not die. But this episode was crazy. We had so much shit going on this episode. And, I kind of figured it out. I don't know if it's like well, I mean, it's not a theory almost. It did say that. Anyway, I'll get straight into it. So Miller has been talking about this guy in power for ages, like the guy responsible for all of this, behind everything that happened. And now I've come to think about it. I think that guy is Julie Mao's dad. I really do think that Julie Mao's dad has the money. He's obviously extremely rich, and he's known for being extremely rich. He's extremely powerful. And he's also known for being really powerful. And he's also from Earth. I thought that was a point worth noticing because obviously now Fred Johnson has decoded the Martian chip, the information chip that Lopez had. And he's seen that the stealth technology was developed on Earth. So maybe Julie Mao's father had a major role to play in that creation of it. And I cannot believe what's happening now with all the biochemicals. So obviously, the CMP, I think it was. I think CPM. I think it was CPM. I don't know what that stands for, but the CPM, a bunch of like it's like a military. It's like a militia pretty much. And the guy that they captured, Miller and Holden, he literally said that they're recruiting all these gangs, and they give them a fat paycheck and a good salary, and they're just doing stuff, no questions asked. Yeah, that kind of explains well, that doesn't explain it, but that shows how sketchy this CPM people are, like how sketchy the CPM are. And yeah, Julie Mao's dad is literally in charge of it. We saw the main guy on Aerostation. He was talking to Julie Mao's dad, and Julie Mao's dad was giving him orders. So yeah, Julie Mao's dad, you can understand now why Julie tried to run away from him. Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, it is messed up. We also had the flashbacks this episode, 7 weeks before the main events, and we saw what happened with Julie. Yeah, pretty much all the events that led to all the stuff happening in the show so far. So that was really, really interesting. And one little detail that I noticed straight away was that Julie kind of like put a hand out, and then this blue stuff that we seen, it went onto her, and I was thinking like, shit, that's not good. That's what killed her. And yeah, turns out it is. And it was really horrible. It was really brutal because the stuff like on her was all in her blood, and you could see like it just looked disgusting, and it was like growing alive out of her. Because obviously on the ship we've seen it grow, but that's because of like the electricity and the ships, like, I don't, oh yeah, just the electricity, I guess. But on Julie, it's growing out of her life, like her being alive and her blood pumping around. That is causing whatever this infection is to grow and to spread all throughout. And yeah, it's absolutely disgusting, and it's such a sad thing for Julie, because she waited in that room for Anderson Dawes, and Anderson Dawes, the prick, didn't even go. If only Miller got there sooner, man. But then again, he wouldn't have been able to save her. How could he have saved her? But at least Julie would have known that there's people out there for her, looking for her. But yeah, I can't believe the experiments they're doing out at the aerostation. Everything is planned. A ship has been blown up, and they've used that to go into like full-on lockdown. Like, oh guys, evacuate, and they're pushing everybody around. And the main scientist, I forgot his name. I have to go back. But the main scientist, he took like a sample out of Julie, and he said, it's not airborne, but if you get it on you, it does something amazing. So he's obviously twisted. He's fucked up in the mind because he thinks it's amazing. So now what they've done is they've evacuated all these people, and they've said, oh yeah, it's safe, go that way. And what they're doing is saying, oh, it's a mandatory shock. It's a mandatory shot to keep you safe or whatever. So they do it. They put in their neck, and they're literally they're injecting radiation. They're injecting whatever that bioleak is. And we saw now when Miller and James Holden, they went into this room, this like radioactive room, and they was all lying there, just dead. Well, not dead, but they was in the same state that Julie was in, just lying like that, kind of like suffering in a way. I can't believe that. And we've seen that when he was in there, they was administering radiation. We saw all across the thing. And yeah, well, I mean, Miller and James have been hit by that radiation dose, so that better not be fatal. James Holden and Miller better not die. I swear to God, if they die, I'm going to be so pissed off with the show if they die, because Miller is becoming one of my favourite characters, if not my favourite, and I'm seriously liking James Holden, so them two better not die, I swear to God. Okay, so I've actually gone on the Hypnosis website, the one that I've been getting my information for the intros, and so I've got this to say. So meanwhile, on Anchorage Island in the Yukon archipelago, I can't say that, but Christian visits Franklin the Grave's widowed husband, Craig. Craig will never forgive Christian for betraying Frank, though he allows her some time alone in Frank's study in order to say goodbye. Christian finds 3 sharpened pencils in Frank's desk, which are actually data drives, and one of them she finds plans for an advanced fusion prototype, which looks a lot like the reactor on board of the Anubis. So maybe this guy, Franklin D. Graff, maybe he was responsible for the creation of these stealth ships, the stealth ships that inevitably blew up the Canterbury and led to all the events happening. But then again, wasn't he part of Mars? So how would that make any sense? Because if it was developed on Earth, how could he have had I don't know, that's really interesting, because he was obviously like a secretary for Mars. So yeah, but that's really weird how he has an advanced fusion prototype on a data drive. Like, was he behind it? Like, oh, that's really interesting now, because I've got so much theories. I'm not going to do a really long outro this time, but next episode for the final, I'll do a massive intro and a massive outro, or like a review or whatever. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so yeah, just then on Tokyo Station, Fred Johnson sends a broadcast revealing the information found on the data cube he took from Lopez's uniform. It gives a detailed analysis of the attack against the Doniger, revealing that the attackers were advanced stealth fighters built at the Bush Naval Shipyards on Earth. So that's pretty much verified. It has been built on Earth, but who built it on Earth? I have two main theories now. Maybe it was well, no, my main theory is that it's still Julie Mao's dad. He is a major character in this. He is responsible for so much that we don't yet know. And maybe he's responsible for building these stealth ships, the ones that obviously led to all the stuff happening. Or maybe it's Franklin D. Graff. Maybe it's Mars. But maybe it's Mars building it, but they're actually blaming it on Earth. I don't know. Loads of theories, but I'll definitely write down all my thoughts on my phone and discuss them at the start of the next episode. Next episode's intro is going to be so long, but they're going to be worth it. For the final, I have to do that, really, don't I? But yeah, I don't think there's anything else I wanted to mention. This episode was really good. I'm really enjoying the Miller and James Holden, and obviously the Rossi Nate crew dynamic. It's really great, and it's really interesting now we've been introduced to this CPM, and Julie Mao's father. There's way more to that, and I can't wait to find out more about that. But yeah, that was my reaction to The Expanse, Season 1, Episode 9. Really good episode, really enjoyed watching it. Again, I just want to thank everyone for the support. I really do appreciate my Patreons and everyone leaving me amazing comments. Truly do appreciate that. But yeah, that was my reaction to The Expanse, Season 1, Episode 9. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next one. Goodbye.